Live at 5, it's offer review, and the Nova leaderboard payouts are screwed up. They're absolutely trash, and they botched this by splitting the event into two pieces. So, if you got less than top 5,000, but you scored more than 100,000 points in the leaderboard portion of the Nova event, you got the wrong rewards. Absolutely. And this has to do with whether or not players were eligible for leaderboard payouts, right? And they're usually the threshold, or the threshold in these events was very explicit. If you get the first milestone, you're eligible to be on the leaderboard. So like right here, you can see this person saying that, there was 53,000 players, and that's why they placed in this percentage, is because there was only 53,000 players that got over the 400,000 point threshold, which was wrong. Because when the event was published, before they split it into two pieces, the first threshold to be qualified for a milestone and to be eligible for the leaderboard leaderboard rewards was 100,000. And so I've been hearing that this number, instead of it only being 53,000 people, which what all the math of this is calculated off the 53,000 player, whether you place in 90% or 60% or 20% or 10%, is based off of 53,000 people, when it should have been based off of a much larger number. Basically, anybody that got over 100,000 points, not just the people that got over 400,000 points. So that number should be closer to 125,000 players, is my understanding. So let me put it to you this way. Let's say you got 401,000 points in the Nova event. You would have placed like very low. Like you would have been on the absolute bottom of this right here. And you would have been like way down here because you placed at the bottom. You had 401,000 points. But if the event was working correctly, the way that it was launched before the events got split into two places, you would have been calculated off of all the people that got between 100 and 400,000 people, 120,000 people, and maybe you would have placed up here, 26 to 30%. So anybody that got a percentage-based reward, or anybody that scored between 100 and 400,000 points, absolutely got screwed by this because of the splitting of the two events. Now, if the first milestone on the leaderboard event was set at 100,000 points instead of 400,000 points, this would not have been a problem. If the event didn't get split into two, this would not have been a problem. But this is a problem, and basically everybody's rewards need to be recalculated. And there's actual screenshots of the first event showing the eligibility being at 100,000, where if we look at this screenshot right here, on the final one is 400,000, but the first run before it got split into two said 100,000 points. And the worst thing about this is that we've had problems in the past with minimums, and this was specifically about unrealistic event minimums, the new normal. And he says, I am in discussions about this. In the meantime, I'm ensuring that minimums get communicated in the blogs going forward. That didn't happen. Also, I worked with the team to lower them out in the next event next week. I'll put more info in the blog once I have some concrete answers. So none of this would have been an issue potentially if the minimums were were communicated in the blog like they actually said they were going to do. So it's all screwed up. Nobody's working right now, and it is what it is. And like most of these posts on Reddit, are saying, who got the 1 to 10% rewards or blah, blah, blah. Well, it's because this number right here is wrong. This number should be a much larger number, like closer to 125,000 people. Now, I do want to say that this is one of the problems, but there are more problems than just this. The other problem has to do with Masters of Evil, and to even get to the 400,000 points, to get the rank leaderboard. See right here, it says, that sounds fine. You realize that if you do run a difficulty 4 with all packs and you'll get 390,000 points, then you need at least 400,000 points to even rank on the leaderboard. We should have only had to get 100,000 points because they did it wrong. So basically, the second Nova event, by removing 3 Scourges, negatively impacted low to mid-level players and had the hope of at least unlocking him. Yeah. And this event was very different than the Scourges for the Horsemen because it was extremely gated behind Masters of Evil. Like, unless you had Masters of Evil, what? Yeah, the X Factor didn't do anything. They basically were useless. All right. Let's get into what to hoard for the week, and it looks like we've moved past this top part right here. Spin Power Cores, event starting on the 1st. Spin Campaign Energy, which is also starting on the 1st. I think these are like normal things that we're just getting used to. Also, I'm just going to put this in every video until they say something about it. Why are we not all raging about the fact a lot of players got 1.8 million ISO 5 and we're being refused compensation? And this has to do with the day of the patch. The Invaders Incursion event, whatever it was called, was bugged, and people could go in without having their invaders at 5 stars, and they got 1.8 million blue ISO 5, which is a horrifically high amount given how scarce it is, and they just issued out some weak compensation. I don't know what this means, but I like it, and I think it's probably true. Did you know that 38.2% of all statistics are made up right there on the spot? I'm just saying. All right, some offers right here. If you buy Cosmo, you get the 2 gold offers. There's a gold offer for $30 and then another one for $10. They're not the best, but they're okay. If you want to purchase gold, I mean, it's better than the normal offers, I suppose. And then there are corresponding training material offers, one for $30 and one for $10 as well. Then also, it's kind of a Kraken snack, but this is what? 4 Elite 6s for $10. Not for $10, $100. I do want to point out that there is a calendar offer that is $100 also. And throughout the course of that calendar, there are 3 Elite 6s in it and a bunch of other things. You know, the Dark Dimension 6 orbs, which can give gold. There's some training materials inside of it. There's a lot of Armory 16s and Armory 17 orbs. So rather than buy this, I would recommend the $100 calendar. I'm not going to buy either of them. And then lastly, this offer right here is complete garbage. One of these options gives like an Elite 5. This one gives some of these orbs, and then some of those orbs is not great. And then you can get 5 million gold, but 5 million gold for $15, not great. This is just a trash offer. I did like the 6 million gold for $5. And then lastly, this was a 6-day thing or 6 offer thing. This is Path to Glory 7, I guess. None of them made any sense to me, but you had to buy all of them in order to get to this final offer. But boy, this is extremely disappointing right here, that this doesn't even have anything good. You think that if you're going to be on this ride of being forced to buy a package where you buy the first one, you don't know what the second one, and unfortunately I don't have the screenshots of the other ones, but this is so uninteresting, and the first 3 were in yesterday's video, and they're not interesting as well. Let me know what you think about all of this. Hopefully I explained what went wrong with the Nova event. But basically, yeah, if they hadn't split it into 2, the minimum would have been 100,000, and a lot of more people would have unlocked Nova. They're going to have to fix it. And then if you did get ranked rewards, most of the math on the ranked rewards didn't make sense. Like a lot of people are saying, what happened to the 1 to 10% people? It is because it was all screwed up, because it needs to be based off of a higher number of players, you know, and I don't know what that number is, but, you know, probably 125,000 versus 53,000 people. So Scopely, fix your game. It's trash. I'm a little annoyed. And then, of course, all this stuff happens on a holiday weekend when they're not working. And of course, we're not going to get anything back. Let me know what you think in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.